Rick, megachurch pastor Rick Warren posted this absolutely nonsensical thing on Twitter, X, I mean, and then issued a retraction later on. And I'm going to go over this and why it's absolutely just completely wrong. John 19:18. They crucified Jesus with two others, one on each side and Jesus in the middle. The guys on both sides were thieves. If you're looking for the real Jesus, not a caricature disfigured by partisan motivations, you'll find him in the middle, not on either side. And as you can see, he's got a picture of Jesus on the cross between the two thieves. So, what exactly is Rick Warren implicating, and what's the issue with what he said? So, yes, Jesus was crucified in the middle of two people, but he's implying that this is somehow analogous to our modern day politics, where you have the right and the left, Democrats, Republicans, and that Jesus would be in the middle because both of those parties are thieves. Here's why this is completely wrong. Number one, we have no reason to see why to correlate Jesus being in between two thieves to our political climate today. There's no possible way you could correlate that. And if you want to really get deeper into that, the thief on the right was the one who repented and went to heaven. The one on the left went to hell. Again, I'm not saying there is any correlation, but if you were going to say there was correlation, you'd have to go that deep. But anyways, so the reason why this is also just completely nonsensical and I think immoral is if you look at the two sides, neither side represents Christianity, right? I will say that. But one side is blatantly anti Christian. So let's look at the right and look at the left. The Republican Party is more pro life than the left, not as pro life as they should be. So pro abortion against abortion. Um, and the left is completely pro abortion. So would Jesus be in the middle of that issue, the murder of unborn children? No, he wouldn't. The I mean, I'm sure Rick Warren understands this. He's a pastor. But the first person to acknowledge the deity of Christ was an unborn baby in John the Baptist. Scripture says that Jesus knitted your inward parts. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb. So this is clearly obvious. The homosexual issue, marriage. I mean, Scripture is very clear where it stands on that, where it says that homosexuals not enter the kingdom of heaven. You have Sodom and Gomorrah. You have many quotes throughout Scripture where it's very clear on that issue. Would Jesus be in the middle of pro and anti-LGBT? No, he wouldn't. He would be on the anti-LGBT side because that is sinful. And again, I don't know what Rick Warren is trying to implicate here. I don't know. To me, what I think he's trying to, well, I know what he's trying to implicate. I think what he's doing is he was trying to please the masses. He has a mega church, and I'm not saying every mega church is bad. I'm not even saying most of them are bad, but a lot of them garner a large audience through having a very palatable message to the world. But the truth is, the gospel is offensive. Jesus Christ was killed because of what he said, because his message was so offensive to the Pharisees and to the Jews that they killed him. And just know that you have to be ready to die for the gospel, die for the truth. Because it wasn't just Jesus who died for the truth, it was all of his disciples. They were all martyred. They all died terrible deaths because of because of them being willing to share the good news of the gospel. And this right here is just pure cowardice. Now let's go to his retraction. I apologize, I wrote poorly. I don't believe Jesus was a centrist. He stands far above it all. My kingdom is not of this world. Jesus demands our total allegiance as the center of our lives. I I don't know what he's trying to say here. To me, it seems like he's saying Jesus was not a centrist, as he says right here. And he's above all this political stuff, so you just stay out of it, which is just completely nonsensical. Is it godly to stay out of protecting unborn babies? Is that what he's trying to say? I mean, again, guys, make of that what you will. Use scripture to discern this, but if you're a Christian, you have a responsibility to take part in politics. And I'm not saying you have to be like me or be a super political person, but you've got to at least vote. You've at least got to be informed enough to know what's going on. Because if you have the ability to save unborn children and to push a Christian agenda, then you have the moral responsibility to do so. If you don't, heard something outside. If you as a Christian don't take responsibility and don't take initiative, the world will do so for you. If you don't go into politics, if you don't get yourself involved in politics, the world will control your life and the future of your family. And I will say this, abortion will be gone. It's not if or when. It's not if abortion gets abolished, it's when. And your future descendants will look at you with scorn if they know that you, especially as a Christian, just sat there and did nothing about it. So again, back to Rick Warren. I don't know what he's trying to implicate. I don't know the point of this. To me, it just seems like he's just trying to have some mass appeal, trying not to offend anyone at his church, when really he did the complete opposite message. So just know this. The gospel, the truth of the gospel is unpopular, but the truth will permeate to those who have ears to listen. You're going to get some pushback, but it's worth it. I'm not saying it's easy. I understand it's hard. But cowardice like this is not the way to go. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and follow me on X. Alrighty, guys. You have a blessed one. Bye bye.